Mia stirred from her slumber, her throat parched, a relentless throb echoing in her head, and a nagging discomfort in her shoulders, as if she had been twirling through the night. With bricks firmly secured to her back, she trudged forward, each step a testament to her unwavering determination. The hotel room was flooded with light. Her eyes fluttered open gradually, taking in the shimmering gold trim. Soft drapes hung gracefully, a luxurious silk comforter spread across the bed, while the delicate aroma of lavender mingled with the rich notes of fine whiskey in the air. She found herself in a moment of confusion, unaware of how she had come to be here, drifting into slumber in this place that felt both familiar and unknown. Every inch of her body ached, as if it had been through a battle, leaving her feeling weary and worn. Once upon a time, in a world filled with endless possibilities, there was a moment that sparked a journey. It was a simple word, yet it held the promise of adventure and connection. The story was just beginning, and the characters were ready to embark on their quest, united by the magic of that one little word. As she shifted her gaze, a low groan escaped her lips, and in that moment she became utterly still. Victoria Sterling found herself stretched out beside to her. In the quiet of the office, the CEO dozed, her dark hair tousled, and one arm carelessly thrown across the desk, gliding over the fabric as if nothing could weigh her down. Mia felt a frantic urgency within her, a desperate call to action to find clarity amidst the chaos. In the midst of it all, the journey began. Yet her body seemed to have a mind of its own, stubbornly resisting her wishes. With a gentle motion, she began to nudge. With a gentle motion, she peeled back the blankets and sat up, taking care not to disturb the stillness around her. Her heart raced, caught in a moment of uncertainty. Once upon a time, in a place not so far away. As the sunlight streamed through the window, it danced upon a silver band that embraced her left ring finger, glinting with a soft, enchanting glow. Digit. Oh, not at all, not at all, not at all, not at all, not at all. Mia gazed at the ring as if it held the power to come alive, revealing its secrets through a fierce gaze. Her heartbeat echoed in her ears, a rhythmic reminder of the tension that filled the air. What is it that you seek? What in the world? She murmured. Victoria awoke from her slumber. Mia turned her head just in time to catch a glimpse of those strikingly cool blue. Awakening from the depths of slumber, the eyes flutter open. As she surveyed her surroundings, a haze of sleep lingered in her mind, leaving her bewildered. Her eyes wandered, searching for clarity, touched down on Mia. In a moment suspended in time, their gazes locked, each heartbeat echoing the unspoken words between them. The stillness hung heavy in the air, almost suffocating. Mia! Victoria's voice was enchanting. If Mia wasn't battling her inner turmoil. Good morning, Mia croaked. In a quiet corner, Victoria found herself seated. She shot up, gripping the sheets to her chest as if the realization of their bare state had just dawned on her. Her gaze fell upon Mia, glanced down at her own hand. Yet another ring appeared. What in the world? I'm not sure, Mia said, anxiety swelling. Everything after the casino is a blur. Perhaps the karaoke bar stands out in the haze. As the night unfolded, Victoria's voice cut through the haze, her words landing like a stone in the stillness. We were drinking. Overwhelming. That bartender was quite the character. Mia couldn't contain her excitement for tequila, and the shots she added with a sparkle in her eye. And the twirling on the... In the heart of the garden, a fountain danced gracefully, its waters sparkling under the sun. Each droplet shimmered like tiny jewels, creating a melody of whispers as they cascaded down. Surrounding it, vibrant flowers swayed gently in the breeze, their colors reflecting the joy of the moment. It was a place where time seemed to pause, inviting all who approached to lose themselves in its serene beauty. Divine presence. Victoria gently shut her eyes, embracing the stillness around her. Whisper to me that we didn't. Mia took a deep breath, her heart racing as she prepared for what was to come. Upon my finger rests a ring, a symbol of something deeper. Once upon a time, in a land known as Victoria, there were tales waiting to be told. Same here. Victoria stood clutching him. She gracefully lifted the robe from the chair, its fabric whispering secrets of comfort and warmth. She moved back and forth, her steps quickening until she came to an abrupt halt. Hold on a moment. In a quiet corner of the world stood a small chapel, its weathered stones whispering tales of devotion and hope. Sunlight filtered through stained glass, casting colorful patterns on the wooden pews, where countless souls had sought solace. The air was thick with the scent of aged wood and flickering candles, each flame a testament to prayers offered and dreams cherished. Outside, the world moved on, but within those sacred walls, time seemed to stand still, cradling the secrets of the heart. What is happening? In a quiet corner there stood a peculiar chapel, its facade illuminated by a glowing pink heart, casting an enchanting glow in the night. Do you challenge me to step inside and proclaim that we were about to embark on a beautiful journey of marriage? Indeed, you challenged your own limits. Mia made the necessary adjustments. Once upon a time, you spoke. Let's seal the deal, my love. It's obvious we're meant for each other. With a sigh, Victoria let her hands glide down her face, feeling the weight of the world in that simple gesture. Oh no, I believe we may have agreed to something. There were papers, Mia whispered, her breath hitching, and a man in a shimmering tuxedo stood before her, and plastic rings. Oh my God, we tied the knot. Mia nodded, her eyes wide in disbelief as the bright lights of Vegas surrounded us. In a haze of intoxication, they locked eyes, a mix of fear and disbelief washing over them. And then Victoria whispered, "This must remain a secret. We must take action right away." Understood. Of course, Mia said, though a knot tightened in her stomach at the mention of that word. As if it were all a figment of imagination, yet something had indeed transpired. A moment that was far removed from wild nights and shots of tequila. Mia, the memory of Victoria's gaze lingered, a bittersweet echo of her words about love's demise. Her smile, gentle yet tinged with sadness, painted a vivid picture in my mind, almost bashful as Mia brushed the glitter from her cheek. The moment their hands had woven together during their fits of laughter, Mia took a breath, her mind swirling in uncertainty. Reality felt elusive, yet she was certain of one thing: it was far from emptiness. Victoria's fingers danced over her phone screen as she swiftly dialed a number. "We'll have the lawyers involved first thing Monday," she declared, a determined glint in her eye. It was going to be in a hushed manner, she continued, ensuring that the world outside remained oblivious. "Right?" Mia repeated, her fingers dancing nervously. She ran her fingers over the ring once more, feeling its cool surface against her skin. For reasons she couldn't quite grasp, she chose to keep it on. The private jet glided through the sky, enveloped in an eerie silence as they made their way back to New York. Not the kind that brings ease. The tents were thick with unvoiced dread and fleeting looks at identical bands. Mia sat stiffly in her seat, her hands neatly folded in her lap, reminiscent of a schoolgirl attempting to mask the reality of her life, spiraling into a whirlwind of romantic chaos. Victoria, as always, appeared. In a world where elegance meets mystery, she stepped out in her perfectly tailored dark slacks and a blouse that seemed to whisper sophistication. Her eyes, concealed behind chic designer sunglasses, hinted at untold stories and secrets waiting to unfold, even inside the cabin. Yet her posture remained rigid, and the muscle in her jaw twitched every few seconds. The papers began to flow the moment the office doors swung open, she remarked, shattering the stillness. "It will be serene, peaceful. The past will remain a secret," agreed, Mia remarked. "Yet here we are, bound by vows and carrying the proof of our union tucked away in my purse." "Which you will shred," Victoria declared without hesitation. Mia remained silent. Her fingers danced around the ring on her finger once more. It had never left her hand. Victoria's remained, too, a silent testament. "It was merely an error," Victoria spoke in a gentler tone. "Vegas has that effect on people." "Of course," Mia replied. "Mistake." Yet a pang of sorrow tugged at her heart as memories of Victoria flooded back, gazed upon her that evening. Not as a superior, nor as a tipsy lady, but as if someone truly recognized her essence. And that was not something Mia could never shake off, no matter how hard they tried to wipe it from her memory. Monday morning felt even more daunting. Returning to the sleek glass tower rises majestically, a beacon of sterling global, amidst the stark embrace of cold concrete, exuding an aura of power and sophistication. Amidst the quiet scrutiny of those around her, Mia endeavored to maintain her composure. She focused on her emails, responding with a practiced ease. The sound of the coffee shop buzzed around her as Victoria took a sip, savoring the familiar taste. "Miss Sterling," she heard someone say, and Victoria's gaze snapped upward, her face a mask of mystery. "Thank you, Mia," she said, her voice unusually gentle. Their hands met briefly as Mia passed over a file. In that fleeting moment, everything changed. A spark ignited, warmth spread, and memories surged forth. You, in a moment that felt like magic, you pressed your lips against hers. You took the leap and made her your wife. Under the dim lights of a karaoke bar at the witching hour of 300 a.m., you witnessed the tears streaming down her face. We need to schedule a meeting with HR, Victoria said abruptly, her gaze drifting elsewhere. It's about travel reimbursements, right? Mia said, attempting to keep her tone light. It wasn't about our unexpected union or anything. Victoria's gaze shot over to Mia. I'm just joking, Mia replied hastily. It's mostly quiet. Then Victoria, with arms crossed tightly, she stood and made her way to the window, gazing out into the distance. This cannot affect the company. It already is, Mia replied, her voice steady, softly. It's like the air gets heavy the moment I step into your office. Victoria turned. With a gentle shift in her demeanor, she asked softly, Is that my fault? No, Mia said, her voice firm. It's not. It's your fault that you're stunning when you're not commanding me. Victoria's lips parted. Do you believe I'm absolutely stunning that night in Vegas? Mia said, moving in closer. You shared with me that you... In the quiet moments, you found yourself grappling with the walls you had built. The weight of solitude pressed down, and the longing for connection grew heavier. Under the influence of the night, truth spilled out like a secret whispered in the dark. You too felt the ache of loneliness, Victoria. In hushed tones, I recall your words, how you believed I was worthy of someone who looked beyond the surface. That belief still lingers within me. A moment of silence follows. Mia, Victoria whispered, her voice a mere breath. I can't be the person you believe I am. Then let me see who you really are, Mia said, her voice steady. No more pretending. No more calling this a mistake, as if it meant nothing. Nothing. Their eyes locked. The tension crackled in the air, palpable and electric, too thick to disregard the moment. Yet just as the conversation was about to deepen, a sudden, forceful knock shattered the silence. A junior associate peeked in, a hint of anticipation in their voice. Miss Sterling, the board awaits your presence. Without hesitation, Victoria replied, her defenses rising swiftly once more. Mia took a step back, her expression returning to its calm state. The door clicked shut behind her. Victoria. She paused for a moment, glancing back over her shoulder. Mia, yes, just don't take the ring off. Not yet. And then she vanished into thin air, leaving Mia standing there, heart racing. As the excitement surged, her fingers instinctively gripped the silver band adorning her finger. Tuesday began like any other day, or as close to ordinary as it could be when you were hiding the fact that you were married to your boss, and once more she donned the role of her assistant. Mia diligently filed reports and participated in meetings, jotted down thoughts as Victoria commanded the space with her unmistakable grace and authority. Yet each time Victoria mentioned Mia, when their eyes locked, an unusual weight hung in the air. In those fleeting instances, small yet significant, everything shifted. Flashes danced in Mia's mind, a fleeting glimpse of something she believed she had witnessed in Victoria as well. That same pulse of memory echoed within her, of desire. During lunch, Mia strolled past the executive lounge and hesitated. Victoria was alone, her gaze fixed on the screen of her phone. Suddenly, as if attuned to Mia's energy, she lifted her eyes. As they stood there, their gazes intertwined. A warmth spread across Victoria's face. Gently, she placed her phone aside. Down slowly. Come in. I was just come in, Victoria repeated. Mia stepped inside. The door clicked shut behind her, sealing her in a world of whispers. She felt it again, that subtle shift in the air, a presence lingering just beyond her reach. Victoria stood, her heart racing, and walked to as she gazed out the window. Her voice barely above a whisper, she confessed, I haven't stopped thinking about that night. Same, Mia replied, her heart echoing the sentiment. It was as if time stood still, replaying the moment endlessly. Your laughter echoed in the air, filling the chapel with warmth and joy. An outrageous Elvis impersonator. The tales I shared with you, Victoria turned to. She never spoke like that. Yet in that moment she felt compelled. I know, Mia replied, a smile breaking through. But I'm really glad you did. Victoria stepped forward, her voice dropping to a whisper. I meant every word, all of it. Even the moment when you confessed your longing for companionship. Victoria's eyes sparkled with emotion. That moment stood out the most. Another step, they were barely a foot apart. Mia's breath caught. Then why are you attempting to wipe it away? Because fear grips me. Fear of what? Fear of losing my grip, and the depths of longing for the unattainable, a desire to be noticed stirred within her. With a soft touch, Mia extended her hand, delicately reaching out. He reached out and gently brushed against Victoria's hand. I see you, he whispered. A moment hung in the air, heavy with unspoken words. Then Victoria's fingers began to move, tracing a path of connection. Curled around hers, hesitant, exploring. What should we do, Mia? We pause. Let's just pretend, Mia suggested, her voice soft and conspiratorial. Victoria nodded slowly, a hint of understanding in her eyes. All right, she leaned closer, their foreheads touching, a gentle connection without the need for a kiss. You make me feel unsteady. Good, Mia smiled. You've been too steady for too long. Time seemed to stretch endlessly until a sudden knock broke the spell. They separated in an instant, both aware of the interruption. Yes, Victoria, Miss Sterling, came the voice of her secretary, echoing softly through the door. The CFO's presence loomed nearby. She glanced at the clock, noting the time. I'm on my way, she said before pivoting to face Mia once more. Her voice lowered, a hint of something unspoken lingering in the air. Come to my place tonight, he said, leaving Mia momentarily stunned. She blinked, caught between curiosity and uncertainty. Was that an invitation or something more? Command, Victoria asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Will you? But Mia remained silent. She paused for a moment. Indeed. Victoria offered the faintest smile, a glimmer of relief in her eyes glimmered in the fading light. It was 7:00 p.m. when she turned and walked away, each step echoing with the click of her heels. Her posture a flawless testament to confidence yet. Mia felt the weight of the world pressing down on her, the fragility of her spirit, the deep-seated pain. It was a moment unlike any other since the dawn of her new day. In that Vegas bed, Mia was enveloped in a sense of belonging. She felt desired, and that was everything. With a sense of trepidation, Mia crossed the threshold of Victoria's chic and elegantly understated apartment, the moment marked by the sharp chime of the clock striking 7:30. As she stepped inside, the door whispered shut, enveloping the space in a serene stillness. A delicate hint of citrus lingered in the air, wrapping around her like a warm embrace. Fresh and warm, contemporary, yet timeless, evoking a sense of intimacy and mystery, as if it were a hidden sanctuary. An expanse for her superior, the woman who had kept the universe at a distance for as long as Mia could remember. On either side they maintained their composure until that fateful night in Vegas shattered all conventions and transformed their understanding of everything they believed to be true themselves. Now they both stood in that delicate moment where tension hung in the air like a storm waiting to break. Victoria closed. She swung the door open and pivoted to face Mia, her arms wrapped tightly around herself in a protective gesture. Even with her elegant black blouse, the living room was bathed in a soft muted light emanating from a solitary lamp positioned behind a spacious sectional. On the couch, a bottle of red wine sat on the coffee table, half empty, accompanied by 2 glasses, the dim light casting playful shadows across the table. The aroma of ripe fruit mingled with the rich scent of cheese, creating a tantalizing allure. It was a moment suspended in time, where every detail whispered of intimacy and connection, a sand-colored holder. They stood there inches apart, a palpable tension hanging in the air. Neither moved to bridge the gap. The atmosphere quivered with unspoken words. Victoria, at last, the words escaped soft and measured. Mia, I appreciate your presence. Mia steadied herself, ready for what was to come. You inquire. More than once, Victoria confessed, but just as Mia was about to reply, the atmosphere quivered once more. Yet this time it felt different, sharper. An unspoken apology lingered in the air, suspended between them. Mia shifted her movements, unsteady as she reached out. For the couch she settled in without a word. Her heart raced within her chest, pounding fiercely, a mix of excitement and apprehension. With a sense of eager expectation, Victoria settled down next to her a moment later. The gap between them lingered unfilled. Just between them, as the tension stretched and cracked, reshaping itself in the air. They stood facing one another, enveloped in silence. The bottle of wine between them seemed to call out a silent invitation. Mia's fingers brushed the glass, while Victoria's hand lingered nearby. She brushed against hers, then pulled away, her gaze deep and troubled. Their conversation began cautiously, about the little things, the fruit, the flickering streetlights beyond the window. It felt like a dance, each with a sense of trepidation. Mia dipped her toes into the unknown. Her fingers quivered slightly as she brushed a stray lock of hair behind her ear, feeling an unexpected rush of anticipation. Tingling sensation through her, a spark igniting in the air between them. She felt a rush of warmth, a moment suspended in time, as their eyes met, each heartbeat echoing the unspoken connection that lingered just beneath the surface. A surge of warmth coursed through her body. Victoria tensed her lips, slightly parted, as though she was about to speak. An unexpected urgency took hold of her. With a sudden movement, she stood up. "I need a—" In that fleeting instant, she whispered, her tone almost unrecognizable. Leo felt exposed, his defenses crumbling. Mia stood there, a silent witness to it all. She moved gracefully into the kitchen, the harsh light from the lamp creating sharp silhouettes that danced across Victoria's shoulder blades as she turned. From the counter, she appeared delicate and unrefined, yet completely unsettling. Mia exhaled. She understood the reason she had yet to take off the ring. Victoria came back with 2 new glasses of wine, white this time. She extended one to Mia, their fingers brushing lightly. Once more their fingers brushed against the familiar warmth. Mia nodded in agreement. They settled in their knees, nearly meeting, a silent connection forming between them. "Tequila tonight," Mia whispered, her voice barely above a murmur. Victoria offered a faint smile, one that held a hint of melancholy. "Absolutely no tequila." Mia lowered her guard. "Victoria, can we have a chat about—" "Last night I found myself reflecting on my presence here, pondering the reasons that keep me anchored. It's about the desire to remain, to embrace what Victoria's offers." Her breath caught in her throat. She turned, cradling the wine glass delicately between her hands. I pondered I could wipe it away. It felt like a burden, a misstep. Yet as I lay down to sleep, cradling you in my arms, I understood just how deeply I desire you. She gazed into Mia's eyes, filled with warmth and passion. Not merely in the vibrant city of lights where every moment feels like a celebration, there's a deeper story unfolding. By my side through the glitz and glamour is Mia, her heart shining brightly amidst the chaos. Thundered in her throat. Tears pricked her eyes unexpectedly. "I'm terrified," she said softly, "because for 2 years, I've been part of your world, observing from the shadows of a clipboard. And what if this moment is merely another chapter in our unfolding story? There's a blunder that looms over me, one I can't seem to hide. The thought of losing it all, my job, my aspirations, haunts me." She pressed her palm gently against Victoria's knee, her voice trembling with emotion. "But I don't want to lose you more than anything," she whispered, her heart laid bare. With a soft breath, they leaned in, their shoulders gently touching. "Now let me hear you say it," they urged. Mia swallowed hard, her heart racing. This was it, the moment when everything could change, when barriers might fade away. Or snap. Her voice quivered, yet the message rang true. "I desire you now and always." Gasps filled the air. The universe shifted on its axis. Victoria shut her eyes, with a pulse racing. He leaned in and pressed his lips softly against Mia's. It was the beginning of something intense, a deep longing igniting between them. The warmth of their connection lingered, a moment suspended in time. The kiss grew more intense, filled with a sense of longing, and trembling, her hands gently cradled Mia's face, filled with a tender purpose. Mia felt as if she might fall apart. In that moment, time seemed to fold in on itself. Everything transformed into the exhilarating experience of surrendering to one another, embracing trust, and delving into an unspoken connection that lingered in the air. Yet they separated, their foreheads touching, breaths harmonizing in a delicate rhythm. Victoria whispered hoarsely, "You're breathtaking, Mia." Mia Rodriguez. Mia's heart raced. She spoke softly, her words barely above a breath. "So are you." They remained in that moment, allowing the unspoken truth to weave itself into the air around them. The night outside unfurled like a vast canvas, open and unbound. After a moment, Victoria's voice broke the silence once more. "Allow me to demonstrate. I mean it. This isn't just for tonight, it's for every night. And without any restraint, none at all." Within the confines of corporate walls, a question lingered in the air. "Can we do it?" Mia paused, her thoughts swirling as she allowed her wedding ring to catch the light, reflecting the weight of her decision. the glow on her finger. "I've already said yes," she replied, a smile wavering. In her eyes, a spark ignited. Victoria's face radiated with a fresh glow, a blend of relief and joy illuminating her features. A surge of anticipation filled the air. She leaned in and kissed Mia once more this time, with a passionate intensity. The heat enveloped them, a blend of rich flavors and unspoken desires lingering on her lips. They remained enveloped in that kiss. The lines between authority and duty faded away, transformed by something so primal and intense, it resonated deep within their very being. In that instant, the realm beyond their apartment faded away. It was just the two of them, exposed, longing, fragile, and unmistakably entwined. Love lingered in the air as Monday morning arrived at the office. Mia found herself in the elevator, button-laden hallway, feeling a shift in the atmosphere around her. In the heart of the bustling office, Victoria stood in her glass-walled sanctuary, a stack of printed reports clutched tightly in her hands. The cool metal of her wedding rings pressed against her skin, a silent reminder of promises made. As she absorbed the stillness around her, the declaration nestled within the confines of her blazer pocket. Moving on autopilot, her heels clicked rhythmically against the pavement. With each step on the polished marble, her posture remained impeccable, yet there was something unspoken in the air. Today unfolded like any other. The door glided open with a sterile hush, and she stepped into the office, pausing at the entrance, just long enough to weave tranquility into her heart. Victoria lifted her gaze, her eyes momentarily. Her demeanor softened for a moment, the walls she had built around herself momentarily fading. She cleared her throat, a signal that the time had come. "We need to talk," she said, her voice steady, yet laced with urgency, regarding the Verona deal. Mia inhaled deeply. Naturally behind them, the CEO's office seemed to shrink around them, a space too confined for the weight of their shared knowledge, yet too expansive for the secrets they were desperate to keep under wraps. As they strolled toward the conference room, their elbows gently collided, sending a spark of electricity between them. A single touch sent Mia's heartbeat racing, pounding fiercely against her chest. She swallowed hard. Victoria's jaw clenched, yet she remained silent. Retreat. In the boardroom, beneath glaring lights and the watchful eyes of stoic colleagues, with an unwavering focus, Victoria delivered her instructions, each word cutting through the air with clarity, as if the world around them had remained untouched by the chaos. Mia diligently captured every detail in her notes. As always, she let her thoughts wander back to the echo of Victoria's voice. Just last night it had been gentle, open, and brimming with desire, was momentarily lost in thought, her mind drifting away from the present. As the moderator's voice broke through the haze, she quickly gathered her thoughts and responded with clarity, though a whirlwind of emotion swirled within her, trembled. Who were they now? Each glance at Victoria sent her heart racing. No one amidst the whirlwind of meetings and market projections. Mia found herself swept away, her thoughts racing like a river in flood, amidst the fleeting seconds and the precious token tucked away in her pocket. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the majority of the team had departed, Victoria beckoned Mia to return to her office, where the soft glow of the early evening light filled the space. With a deliberate motion, Victoria placed a file folder on the desk. The desk. It bore the mark of Verona Confidential. "We must unravel this together," she started, but her voice hesitated as Mia's hand brushed against hers. "There are also some questions we need to address, Mia." She gazed upward, pondering the nature of the inquiries. Victoria stood tall, ready to confront the uncertainties surrounding us. Once upon a time, in the heart of a loving union, Mia felt a sudden pause in the air. "You shared your thoughts, HR." Victoria turned her gaze elsewhere, a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. "They had discovered the license on the internet." "No." Mia firmly shook her head, a resolute denial hanging in the air. In the vibrant lights of Vegas, a wave of longing washed over her. It struck her with a bittersweet ache that she yearned for Victoria to lay claim, to stand up and declare her as truly hers. Victoria cast a glance over her shoulder, her expression heavy with concern. Doubts lingered in the air, whispers of how this would impact her ability to lead. Anxiety crept in as thoughts of public perception clouded her mind. "Image," Mia whispered, her voice barely above a breath. "And you? What do you worry about?" Victoria paused, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. Then she stepped closer, cradling Mia's face with tender hands. her thumbs softly gliding over the curve of her cheekbone. The fear of losing you lingered in the air. Her breath caught in her throat as she leaned closer, pressing into his hand. "I said yes in Vegas," I whispered, and the truth of it still resonated within me. It was a moment charged with tension. "I want you," Victoria declared, her voice unwavering. "Then we fight," she added, a challenge hanging in the air. Mia stood there, caught in a whirlwind of emotions, her heart heavy with conflict. Yearned to soar, yet her thoughts anchored her in uncertainty. The realms of business and intimacy had intertwined. The strain, a knot tightened within her, a battle of longing and repercussions. Victoria spoke with unwavering resolve. "Now I shall bring this matter before the board. The balance between public perception and privacy is at stake." In a moment of spontaneity, we exchanged vows driven by a whirlwind of emotions. Yet our commitment runs deep. "Will you be there for me?" Mia's heart. It roared through the air. She took a deep breath. Indeed, the sound resonated with both peril and conviction. Victoria's relief danced in the air. She tucked Mia's hair behind her ear, a spontaneous gesture forbidden yet thrilling. They stood like that for a long moment, swaying between worlds. At the door, Victoria cleared her throat. "Get home, it's safe," she whispered, her voice quivering. "Dinner tonight." Mia paused, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. "Yes," she finally replied. Victoria's lips curled into a smile, a dance of victory, fragility, and desire mingling within her. Her gaze lingered. With a gentle touch, she closed the door behind Mia, leaving her standing solitary in the hallway, echoed with her heartbeat, a battle raging within her between desire and dread. As dawn broke, Mia stirred from her slumber to 3 emails marked urgent, and a calendar invite for a 9 a.m. meeting with HR loomed before her. A wave of anxiety washed over her as she gazed intently at the subject lines, each one a doorway to a different narrative. Internal review request. Marital status. In a dimly lit room, a sense of anticipation filled the air. She leaned closer, her fingers poised delicately above the keyboard, ready to unveil secrets that had long been kept hidden. The weight of the moment hung heavy as the confirmation awaited a silent promise of revelations to come. A confidential discussion was about to unfold, and the world outside faded into oblivion. Her heart pounded with an unsettling beat. The ring on her finger glimmered in the dawn breaking over the horizon, a reminder of wild adventures and unforgettable memories. Indeed, it signifies something profound lingered between them, an unspoken truth that neither had the courage to articulate. She kept it close, never letting it go. She faced the challenge head-on, donning a tailored navy blazer that exuded confidence. With her hair neatly pinned back, she stepped into the sterling global, ready to make her mark. A figure stood tall, shoulders squared and chin held high. As she walked by her colleagues, they offered polite nods, oblivious to the storm simmered just below the surface. As the elevator doors parted on the executive floor, Mia caught sight of Victoria. Stood there, anticipation hanging in the air, surrounded by 2 HR representatives and a corporate lawyer. The image of her clad in a flawless steel gray suit, with hair meticulously swept back. Their eyes glimmered with a sharp intensity. Despite the exhaustion in their depths, made Mia's breath catch. They locked eyes for a fleeting moment, a spark igniting between them. It wasn't enough to... She tried to soothe her, though it was a small comfort. Within the confines of the room, the atmosphere felt thick and oppressive. The HR. The director started off with a carefully crafted statement weaving through the intricate clauses and company policies regarding relationships in the workplace. In a world where power shifted like the tides and the shadows of conflict loomed large, Mia found herself poised with an air of calm. She sat perfectly, embodying a stillness that belied the undercurrents swirling around her. She sat quietly, her hands resting gently on her lap, the ring feeling cool against her skin. In that moment, a deep understanding lingered in the air. In a twist of fate, the director's gaze shifted between Mia and Victoria, a hint of surprise lacing his words as he remarked on the unforeseen union. Yet considering in exploring the essence of the union, it becomes essential to delve into the consequences for each party involved alongside the impact on the company's standing in the world. Victoria's voice flowed like a gentle stream, each word carefully chosen and measured. We find ourselves aware of her surroundings, her heart racing as she navigated the unfolding drama. With each passing moment, the weight of the situation pressed down on her, but she remained resolute, determined to face whatever came next. The table, each word weighing heavily like a stone. A flurry of questions arose. Did the relationship truly exist? Before the journey began, were there any hints of bias? Did anything improper occur? As the clock ticked on, the atmosphere in the room thickened with anticipation. Mia, with unwavering composure, responded to the question that hung in the air, her voice steady and clear, as her palms began to sweat. No, nothing happened until that fateful trip. There was no connection before that fateful evening. The stillness that followed was overwhelming. One of the board representatives lifted an eyebrow, but now Victoria glanced at Mia before speaking. The moment felt charged, as if the air around them was thick with unspoken words. They were on the brink of something, standing at the edge of a new chapter, journey of discovering what this signifies for us, on both personal and professional levels. The phrase lingered, both fragile and perilous. As the meeting drew to a close, a resolution was reached. In a world of fleeting pacts, they would reveal their situation to the legal realm, steer clear of joint public engagements, and embark on a journey of transformation. A thorough examination of every executive choice concerning Mia unfolded, reminiscent of a precise operation aimed at dissecting the core of the matter. Emotions lingered in the air. As they emerged into the hallway, Victoria remained silent. Not initially, she spoke softly, her words intended solely for Mia. "Dinner tonight. My place." It was a statement, not a question. Mia nodded in agreement. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the city outside began to transform. Victoria's penthouse shimmered with golden twilight as Mia stepped inside. The room was softly illuminated, a bottle of the wine breathed softly, its ruby hue catching the light, while takeout containers lay in perfect order next to the shimmering crystal glasses. Victoria lingered by the window. Gazing out at the skyline, her shoulders were tight with unspoken thoughts. "I just didn't feel like cooking," she murmured, her gaze fixed ahead, not bothering to look back. Amidst the swirling chaos of the day, Mia made her way forward, her movements deliberate as she placed her bag gently on the ground. With a soft click, she unbuttoned her jacket, revealing a glimpse of her true self. "You were nothing short of extraordinary." "In there," she said. "You handled it. I shouldn't have had to." Victoria turned. "With a spark in my gaze, I placed you here. I pulled you into the chaos of my world." "You didn't pull me into this," Mia asserted with conviction. "I made the decision to be here. I'm making the choice to stay." Victoria observed closely. She held his gaze for what felt like an eternity before he took her hand gently. "I don't know how to navigate this," she confessed, her voice trembling. "Not like this, not when everything hangs in the balance." "Then let's face it with fear," Mia murmured. "Let's embrace the truth." They shared a meal on the couch, their legs occasionally touching, laughter spilling forth as they reminisced about college days, awful exes, and in the stillness of the night, a figure clad in sequins and sunglasses emerged, embodying the spirit of a rock legend. With a flourish, they approached the counter where the paperwork awaited. The atmosphere was thick with laughter and disbelief, as the wine flowed, fueling the whimsical scene unfolding before the sleepy town. It was a moment that blurred the lines between reality and the extraordinary, leaving everyone wondering how such a spectacle could exist in the quiet hours. Fading into the twilight, the city draped in a deep navy hue, Victoria leaned closer. Her kiss was gentle this time, curious, as if seeking an answer. Mia responded with her lips. Her hands moved delicately, her breath a soft whisper in the air. They peeled away layers slowly with a sense of reverence. There was no haste in their actions, only a gentle unfolding, nothing concealed. In Victoria's bed beneath sheets that carried the scent of lavender, and with a sense of bravery, they explored one another as if discovering a new world. Mia gently traced the contours of Victoria's form. Like a soft breeze carrying a hidden melody, she spoke her name, a delicate secret shared between them. And as Victoria sighed against her shoulder, Mia sensed a fragile barrier shatter within her. She felt a shift within, a delicate and awe-inspiring connection that was undeniably theirs. Once they settled into each other's embrace, in the dim light, Victoria's fingers gently danced in circles on Mia's hip. I've never allowed anyone to get this close," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "Not truly. Not where it truly counts." Mia turned her head, pressing a soft kiss brushed against Victoria's temple, a promise of tenderness lingering in the air. "Don't be," she whispered, her voice barely a breath. In a moment of pure honesty, they drifted off to sleep, entwined in each other's warmth. It was a serene pause, a stark contrast to the chaos of that unforgettable night in Vegas, and for Mia it felt like a new beginning. It seemed as though perhaps this could be the dawn of something genuine. Not flawless, not simple, but undeniably authentic. Then Mia stepped in. At the office Monday morning, she felt as if she were stepping onto a tightrope suspended above a vast chasm, empty of judgment and doubt. The ring adorning her finger had transformed into a delicate, the heavy burden of promise and outcome weighed upon her, and with every breath she took, she sensed its undeniable reality throbbing within her. She navigated through the bustling foyer, where colleagues exchanged smiles and warm greetings, unaware of the fragile truth she carried within her. Clutched the fabric of her blouse. A sense of anticipation filled the air. As she ascended to the executive floor, her demeanor remained calm, yet inside a storm of emotions brewed. But when I stepped off and entered her realm, the atmosphere transformed. There she was poised behind her desk, her presence commanding, impeccable. Yet her eyes flicked to Mia with a tenderness that made Mia's heart thud. Today marked the start of the third-party review process, a discreet yet significant moment. The weight of prying eyes bore down on them, each step heavy with unspoken tension. Mia felt a knot form in her stomach as they strolled side by side toward the boardroom, where the air was thick with tension and their masks of professionalism began to falter with each step they took towards recognizing the unspoken bond that lingered in the air. The director of compliance approached them carrying a hefty pile of forms and protocols that seemed cold and critical. Mia inked her name on page after page as Victoria replied to with sharp inquiries, her voice steady and firm. Mia responded solely when called upon. Yet when a junior associate made eye contact with her, a silent understanding flowed between them, a recognition that love and allegiance frequently eluded simple definitions. The evaluation extended for 3 hours. Mia's hands quivered, not out of fear of what might come, but from the sheer beauty of what it truly meant to be alive. Stand alongside Victoria as a united front. When it came to a close, they were invited to uphold a clear boundary during public gatherings and follow a mentorship pact that guaranteed Mia's. In a moment of clarity, the assessment of professional growth unfolded untouched by Victoria's presence. It served as a wake-up call, a guiding structure, crafted to steady a bond as delicate and passionate as theirs. Yet as they stepped back into the quiet confines of Victoria's office, the hallway empty and still, Victoria's fingers wrapped around Mia's hand, gripping it firmly, enough to remind her that they were bound together despite every rule. Their eyes locked and silence spoke volumes. They understood the struggle that lay before them would be a clash of viewpoints. Under the stars, they gathered at a cozy rooftop bar, owned by a shared acquaintance. In the embrace of the night, two companions stood atop the world, gazing down at the sprawling city that twinkled like a sea of stars. The atmosphere was thick with a blend of hope and trepidation, as if the very air whispered secrets of what could be. Victoria adorned herself in a silk dress that danced with the wind. Mia carried a newfound confidence she had never known before. She acknowledged her feelings. They were nestled together, sharing whispers about their day. The reflection, the universe that seemed to be both, was a heavy silence that hung between them, a weight that pressed down on their hearts. The unspoken agreement loomed large, binding them in ways they had yet to fully understand. The document, now a mere formality, held the power to change everything, yet it remained untouched in their minds. There was no need for words. The essence of their connection lingered in every breath they shared. Victoria gently rested her hand on Mia's knee just as a server approached carrying their drinks. 2 highballs adorned with citrus garnishes arrived, adding a refreshing touch to the moment. The bond glimmered beneath the moon's glow. "They understand," Victoria whispered gently. They realized the truth of the moment. Mia's breath hitched in her throat. "And you fear grips me, Victoria." With a sigh, she made her decision clear. There was no turning back for her. Mia gracefully slipped off her seat, finding solace in the moment, her head resting gently on Victoria's shoulder. In that moment, they made a silent promise. Their lips met in a soft kiss, a shared secret in the air. A quiet promise lingered between them, a sentiment that transcended any spoken words or formal agreements. As they separated Victoria, she gently tucked a strand of Mia's hair behind her ear, her voice barely above a whisper. "Tomorrow," she said, "I'll reveal my plans to make this. I want to make it known to the world that you are a part of my life, in every sense of the word." Mia lifted her head, turned a spark of surprise, igniting within her. "Are you certain?" Victoria asked, her voice laced with curiosity. They lingered in the moment, allowing the flavors to dance on their tongues, each sip a delightful pause in the unfolding story of their evening, as they etched the memory into their skin. They strolled home along the silent streets, evading cameras, making choices, carriage pathways over TV news. In Victoria's apartment, they found solace together beneath sheets and candlelight, softly sharing dreams of the journey love could lead them on. Victoria gently caressed Mia's jaw with her thumb. "Promise me you'll forever remain no matter how fiercely the world resists." Mia shut her eyes. "I vow to give you the world." Beyond these walls, the city pulsed with energy, yet within their hearts found a rhythm that whispered, "Together we stand." In the face of peril, amidst the pain, even when we must battle for every precious inch of space, we create for ourselves. And in that moment, Mia felt a spark of belief in love. In a world where chaos reigned, the allure of the forbidden beckoned. Each step taken felt like a marathon, heavy with the weight of untold power. It was a journey that might just be worth everything, claim their victory. The tension in the air was palpable as they prepared for the final showdown, united in their resolve to face whatever challenges lay ahead. They awoke to the gentle caress of sunlight, filtering through delicate curtains, warm and persistent, as if whispering a promise of the day ahead, came crashing down in a single moment. Mia turned her movements careful, as if the mere act of reaching for Victoria could unravel everything, break the delicate calm that had enveloped them following their rooftop revelation. Yet Victoria's arm slipped, the warmth of the sun spilled into the room, wrapping them in a soft glow. "Morning," she whispered, her breath a tender caress. Against Mia's hair, a promise of the day ahead. Mia felt her heart uncoil, a gentle release of tension. It wasn't perfect, but there were briefs scattered across the desk, hinting at the stories waiting to unfold. Downstairs, glass towers beyond the windows. But in that moment, the world felt suspended, as if time itself had paused to take a breath. It was a world reduced to the soft embrace of fabric, the gentle murmurs that danced in the air, and the calming cadence of breaths mingling with warmth. Mia propped herself up, leaning her head gently against Victoria's shoulder. Her fingers danced over the fresh tattoo she had etched in Vegas. On a whim, the coordinates of the chapel where they exchanged vows, just a whisper beneath the sheets. Victoria followed her gaze. "You should show me," she murmured. Mia gently moved the fabric aside and led Victoria's hand to the delicate writing near her hip. Then she leaned closer to Victoria's, caressed her senses, a soothing balm in a world of chaos. Victoria's voice, trembling with emotion, she whispered, "It's beautiful." Mia's smile brightened the moment. "So are you," she replied. They rested intertwined, allowing whispers to dissolve into quietude, until the hour chimed, signaling it was time to they journey back to their respective realms. "The board is gathering today," Victoria announced, her voice gentle yet unyielding. "Tonight my words will take flight. I need you by my side." Mia shifted, feeling the weight on her, the fingers stirred once more. It transcended mere documents and regulations. It embodied a promise. With a spirit of rebellion and a fierce tenderness, she rose from the bed, Victoria following closely behind her. With a gentle hand resting on her waist, they adorned themselves with care and intention, embodying the essence of professionalism. In the light of day, a bond formed by choice, existing beyond the confines of time. No labels to define it, no pretenses to uphold, yet an undeniable moment. They stepped out of the apartment side by side, their fingertips dancing together until their palms finally intertwined. As the car rolled forward, Victoria's grip on Mia's hand grew firmer. "No matter what unfolds today," she declared, "I want you to understand that I will not let this slip away. I seek more than mere documents, Mia. I desire you," Mia whispered. She took a deep breath, forcing the tightness in her throat to subside. "I understand," she murmured softly, "and I promise I won't flee." The boardroom felt colder than usual, its walls gleaming with polished skepticism. Victoria strode in alone, her presence commanding attention as she stepped into the charged atmosphere, ready to face the challenges that awaited her. Initially, a hush fell over the crowd, As Mia stepped in, both of them keenly aware of the unspoken surprise that accompanied their arrival. Victoria spoke with confidence, her words flowing effortlessly, unwavering, and poised. She stepped into the spotlight, ready to share her heartfelt declaration of love and loyalty, embracing both her partner and her professional journey with unwavering dedication. Mia sat by her side, her heart racing as the board soaked in every word. Questions in the midst of discussions about the intricacies of optics, the ripples of market impact, and the pulse of internal morale. Victoria responded sparkled with understanding and determination. A deep respect for Mia shone through each glance they exchanged. When they met, Mia was enveloped in a wave of warmth and pride, as if the very essence of their love illuminated the space around them. They departed with the board had given their careful nod a plan, began to take shape for a public announcement that evening in the atrium where employees would gather. As the sun began to set, anticipation filled the air. As the building stood empty, Victoria let out a breath, leaning on Mia as they strolled through the hushed corridors. "You were amazing," Mia remarked. "So were you." They halted in a deserted corridor and Victoria leaned in to She pressed her finger gently to Mia's lips, her voice barely above a whisper. "Come home with me." Mia nodded, a wave of relief washing over her, spilling through her. That night in the atrium was awash with a golden glow and a gentle hum. With a soft murmur, Victoria stood before her employees, her voice steady, eyes radiant. She presented Mia not merely as her assistant, but as her beloved, her companion. Her decision was clear and unwavering. The atmosphere in the room was serene until it erupted into soft applause, but powerful in its embrace. Mia's heart raced with appreciation and affection. As they quietly made their way through the side doors, steering clear of the commotion, Victoria intertwined her fingers with Mia's. "We did it," she whispered, a sense of triumph in her voice. Whispering, united. "We accomplished it," Mia reflected. They strolled hand in hand into the darkness. The glow of the city skyline danced around their figures. Inside Victoria's apartment, silence enveloped them as they refrained from discussing. Tomorrow arrived, but there was no need for words. They embraced tightly, their lips brushing against the ring finger, sealing a promise in silence, like a promise reborn. "I love you," Victoria murmured softly. "Always," Mia replied. And in the hushed moments following their victory, they unearthed the truth that love, intense, daring, and exposed wasn't. It was a battle worth waging, the sole treasure to hold dear. The dawn following the public revelation arrived with a... In the stillness of dawn, Mia stirred from her slumber, the weight of the ring on her finger, radiating a comforting warmth. Against her skin, a palpable reminder that love could transcend rules and norms. She observed Victoria as she slept. Beside her, the delicate lashes brushed softly against her fair cheeks, her face radiating a serene calmness, an openness that stirred something deep within. Wave of emotion surged through her, almost spilling over in tears. She gently swept a strand of hair from Victoria's forehead and smiled, marveling that after all the chaos, they could find this delicate. In a moment of tranquility, Victoria finally awoke, her eyes fluttering open to the warm embrace of the sunlight. Her hand reached out, seeking Mia's, and their fingers intertwined in a moment of silent victory. They exchanged They shared a lingering kiss, a moment suspended in time before they rose together. Words of breakfast and meetings hung unspoken in the air between them, only of the warmth that enveloped them as they greeted the morning side by side, free from the shadows of guilt or fear. Yet the unfolding day promised fresh adventures. In the midst of challenges, the board granted their approval, but not without stipulations. They required quarterly disclosures, allowed for optional transfers, and emphasized the importance of sensitivity training. In the realm of upper management, a new chapter unfolds, with a mandatory corporate newsletter that shines a spotlight on the emerging leadership values. The market awaits this transformation. Initially, there was a sense of hesitation. The share prices took a small tumble, only to find their footing again as the faith of investors wavered between uncertainty and hope. Amidst the swirling uncertainties, the CEO stood firm in her beliefs. At noon, Mia met with Victoria for a gathering with the PR team as they pored over the memo set, to be shared later that afternoon. There was a new energy in their collaboration, a shift that was palpable. An unspoken understanding, a connection that transcended the usual hierarchy, where every look exchanged held a world of meaning. There was a silent wave of support that lingered in the air. As the newsletter made its way into inboxes, the reactions varied. Cheers and congratulations echoed from distant lands. In the bustling offices, a wave of skepticism rippled through the analysts, while curiosity sparked among the domestic shareholders. As Victoria sat down for lunch, she began to share the feedback with her companions. While some of it carried a hint of cynicism, there were also heartfelt messages woven throughout, capturing her attention. Mia leaned in closer, her voice barely above a whisper. She gently placed her hand over hers, a gesture of support. "What you say is important," she reassured her. "And so is your courage. Captivates hearts and minds." Victoria nodded, her gaze gentle yet determined. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Victoria graced a lavish donor gala in the heart of Manhattan. She glided through the gathering filled with anticipation. Grace stood confidently with Mia by her side, stepping into the light. Together they faced the crowd, ready to respond to the inquiries that awaited them. In unison, they garnered fleeting glances of astonishment from the social elite, who were used to the veiled intricacies of influence and maintained their connection. The attention of others lingered throughout the encounter. Victoria made the introductions, and I was not simply referred to as her assistant, but my wife. The words echoed in the air, a bold proclamation that shifted the atmosphere. Some offered their applause a gentle acknowledgement of the moment. Others murmured. Yet above all, the atmosphere transformed, becoming a touch more buoyant, filled with promise. Later, as they ventured into the cool embrace of the night, a hidden courtyard became their sanctuary. Victoria held Mia close. "Are you still on board for this?" she inquired. "Without fail, every single day," Mia replied. "Then let me love you loudly," Victoria whispered. They kissed beneath the moonlight and lantern glow, their silhouettes dancing in the soft light, blending seamlessly with the skyline. Upon their return, victorious yet tender, Mia found comfort in the warmth of Victoria's embrace. Victoria held her close, gently stroking her hair, through her hair. In that serene instant, far from the glare of lights and the weight of obligations, they solidified their promise to one another. Embracing love in the light of day posed its challenges, yet concealment was never a choice they would make. As they drifted into slumber, united, their hands clasped, and souls resonating in perfect harmony, they understood that whatever tempests awaited them on the morrow, they would confront them side by side, unyielding and strengthened. In the warmth of the morning light, they stirred, intertwined, as the soft murmur of the city played in the background. Beneath heavy curtains, Mia pressed a kiss to Victoria's shoulder, her heartbeat still echoing with a triumph of the moment. The night before, just as their lips touched, Victoria's phone vibrated. A message came through. A message arrived from her board liaison, carrying an air of urgency. A private meeting was scheduled for 2 p.m. today. Victoria felt the weight of the moment, stiffened, her eyes dancing with a mix of doubt and determination. Mia traced her fingertips along Victoria's spine, a gentle caress. "What is it?" she asked softly, her voice barely above a whisper. Victoria swallowed. A cloud of worry looms over market perception. Shareholders seek reassurances that this won't divert focus from growth. Mia's with her stomach tight, she gave a small nod. Together they would face whatever came next. In quiet companionship, they showered side by side, the silence enveloping them like a comforting shroud, drawing power from one another. Professional outfits concealed wedding bands and stifled grins, yet nothing could diminish the trust in their collective journey to work. The unease during the elevator ride was softened by their hands intertwined in secrecy. In the boardroom, Victoria stood before the senior executives. In a room filled with powerful figures, Mia found herself in the front row, a quiet presence amidst the bustling energy. Her support was unspoken, a secret tether to the world of ambition that surrounded her, yet it felt like a forbidden bond. Yet it was impactful. The delivery was intense, with sharp inquiries and a sense of restraint. In a world where hope danced with doubt, whispers filled the air. Conversations swirled around the shadows of history, the weight of prejudice, and the ever-watchful eyes of outsiders. Victoria met the moment with unwavering strength and elegance. "My wife stands beside me as my true companion in this journey of life, and we have unwavering faith in her expertise. Our dedication drives us to reach even greater heights." Mia's chest tightened with pride as cameras captured the moment, a testament to unity and shared purpose, echoed through the corridor. The decision from the board lingered, granting ongoing conditional approval, awaiting the next set of quarterly updates. And, in a world where accountability reigns, a series of independent performance reviews emerged, accompanied by a public investor statement that echoed a steadfast commitment to transparency. And then they departed, the room a shared silence enveloping them. The burden felt lighter, yet its presence lingered. Victoria hesitated, and in the dim light of the hall she turned to Mia, her heart full of gratitude. "I couldn't do this without you," she whispered, gently cupping Mia's cheek. With trembling hands, they wiped away the tears that flowed freely, a silent promise hanging in the air. Mia took a deep breath, her resolve unwavering. "I won't leave you," she declared, her voice steady amidst the storm of emotions. They stepped back into the rhythm of their duties, weaving through calls and emails with a renewed sense of determination. Yet, as the sun began to dip below the horizon, a wave of fatigue washed over Mia. She quickly typed a message to Victoria. "Meet me on the rooftop." As the sun dipped below the horizon, Victoria's response was swift and sure. "On my way." On the rooftop, the sun dipped below the city skyline, casting a blood-orange hue across the sky. And as the world transformed around her, the solid becoming fluid, shimmering with potential. Victoria stood there, her gaze fixed on the horizon, the railing cool beneath her fingertips. Fingers danced around the rim of a wine glass, a delicate ritual. I stepped closer, a glass of wine cradled in my hand. Their grip tightened. As the sun dipped below the horizon, a moment of stillness enveloped us. Then Victoria broke the silence. We had triumphed over presentations and the doubts that lingered. How I wish this journey could be simpler for us." Mia took a step nearer, her presence a comforting reminder. "Together we've weathered the storms because we stand side by side. Let's embrace what tomorrow brings. Whatever it desires, we exist in this moment." Victoria placed the wineglass gently into Mia's hand, then enveloped her in a warm embrace. They embraced, their lips meeting in a gentle caress that whispered of a love they had consciously chosen. No matter the obstacles, they were committed. Following a prolonged silence, in the quiet of the moment, Mia leaned in and softly said, "Promise me we'll keep choosing each other." Victoria, with a gentle smile, nestled closer, her warmth enveloping them both. With each passing day, they stayed connected through the dusky hours as the towering buildings flickered to life. In the stillness surrounding them, a quiet promise lingered, a love that defied the challenges, a bond forged by choice, and echoed in each sunset, every stride, every pulse. The fragile faded into a whirlwind of energy that neither Mia nor Victoria had foreseen. Each dawn, they ventured through the glass towers. They moved with a quiet confidence, a testament to the choice they made to stand together, fully visible to the world. Yet as the sun dipped below the horizon, a profound weariness settled into their very being, each moment of emotional toil lingering like a shadow. In the midst of turmoil, where love danced with crisis, Mia found herself at a crossroads. By Saturday, a revelation washed over her. She needed to breathe. She proposed a getaway to the city's botanical garden, a secret haven filled with orchids and serene benches just to evoke a sense of tranquility, themselves of ordinary beauty. They arrived at midday. Sunlight danced through the leaves, casting a tapestry of light and shadow. Patterns danced beneath their feet. With fingers intertwined, the world around them seemed to embrace them gently. They took a moment to breathe, stopping by a serene lily pond where koi swam gracefully. Mia glanced over to Victoria, paused, her heart racing. "There's something I want to do, she exclaimed, a hint of excitement in her voice. Victoria tilted her head, curiosity sparkling in her eyes. Mia knelt by the water's edge, her fingers brushing the surface as she pulled. From her pocket she retrieved a small velvet box, the very one that held the real ring she had cherished since that unforgettable trip to Vegas, carefully hidden away until this moment. As she carefully opened it, a gasp escaped Victoria's lips, prompting Mia to lean in closer and whisper, "I don't want to find myself married by chance. In a moment filled with hope and dreams, I find myself longing to share my life with you forever." Deliberate. The ring within was understated, graceful. A vow that was both intimate And in a world where elegance meets intention, a band of white gold cradles diamonds, each one a testament to beauty and depth perfectly placed and thoughtfully designed. Victoria's eyes sparkled with unshed tears. Mia, she started, her voice heavy with feeling. The koi, the soft sound of water lapping at the shore, mingled with the whisper of the wind, dancing with the delicate petals that floated through the air. Will you marry me for real this time? Mia stood, her heart racing as she took the ring. A smile broke through her tears. Yes, she whispered, her voice quivering with affection. In the soft glow of twilight, they found themselves by the pond, wrapped in each other's arms. Their lips met in a kiss, a promise forged from the trust they had built and the dreams that lay ahead. As the sun dipped below the horizon, they came together, forming an intimate circle of trusted companions, a select few. Friends and family gathered quietly for an intimate celebratory dinner at Victoria's penthouse. No cameras, no, in a setting where elegance met intimacy. Soft melodies floated through the air, mingling with the gentle flicker of candlelight. Laughter danced around the room, sparkling like the finest of wines, creating an atmosphere that felt both warm and inviting. Victoria, with a heart full of pride, I presented Mia to the world as my beloved fiancé, my partner, the one I choose to stand beside every single day. Mia's heart swelled as the applause erupted from the small gathering, a wave of genuine and heartfelt appreciation. Speeches flowed, each one a tribute to. In a moment filled with courage and genuine connection, the sound of glasses clinking echoed through the air as emotions ran deep and eyes shimmered with unshed tears. It was a time when hearts spoke louder than words, and love was embraced without hesitation. As the last toast faded into the air, Victoria rose, her voice unwavering and rich with emotion. In the world of commerce, a multitude of rules and expectations govern the landscape. Yet amidst it all, love finds no place. Them. Mia. I am grateful for your love during the times I struggled to open my heart, and for believing in me even when the path ahead seemed fraught with peril. I vow to bring you pride, always. Mia stepped forward, her fingers gently resting on Victoria's wrist. I love you. An unwavering vow to be there through every twist and turn, embracing both the chaos and the charm. Their kiss drew in the whispers of each gamble, each victory. In the solitude of the night, they collapsed onto the couch, feeling both drained and elated. Victoria traced lazy shapes on Mia's arm, brushed against mine. We're engaged, she whispered, her eyes sparkling with joy. We are, I replied, echoing her excitement, rested her head against Victoria's shoulder. Beneath the twinkling stars that peeked through the rooftop skylight, they whispered wishes of ceremonies and Bloom's adventures and everyday sunrises, a journey through the years forged in moments of bravery. As Sunday morning breaks gently, it carries the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the hope of. In the stillness of the room, Mia and Victoria lay intertwined within the crumpled sheets, their connection highlighted by a shimmering ring on each of their fingers. One a reminder of a wild night that shattered their boundaries, the other a symbol of clarity that. They reaffirmed their love, sharing a slow kiss that lingered in the air, savoring the precious stillness before the whirlwind of schedules and strategy sessions swept them away. Reclaim our time. Victoria placed her hand gently on Mia's stomach. We must wedding plans, she murmured, her voice heavy with the remnants of sleep. Mia smiled, her fingers dancing along the. She twirled the gold band around her thumb, contemplating the possibilities. The vision was ours to create, free from the constraints of any corporate gala. An intimate gathering, just the two of us. Victoria nodded, her forehead resting against Mia's. Precisely. Something genuine. They dedicated the morning to creating invitations. On cards kissed by a soft blush, adorned with elegant handwritten calligraphy, each phrase was a carefully crafted declaration of their true selves. Allies are selected. As the sun reached its peak, decisions were made. There would be in the heart of Central Park. Beneath the gentle embrace of towering trees, a couple stood together, surrounded by their dearest friends and family. The air was filled with love as they exchanged a ring, marking the beginning of their forever. The sound of petals and laughter filled the air. Following brunch, they found solace in Victoria's study, where both their calendars lay open before them, a canvas of possibilities. Let's build our shared schedule, Mia proposed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. When work ends, this begins. she declared, marking a clear boundary between the world of professional meetings and the realm of personal time. Victoria gazed at the divide, and a smile crept across her face. "I desire clarity in the boardroom then," she declared. In the cozy corners of their lives, they carefully marked moments for each other, date nights filled with laughter, weekend escapes to breathe in new adventures, and serene pauses to simply be together. On those rainy mornings at home, a sense of transformation filled the air as if a new bond was being created. The warmth of the sun, their laughter echoing against the grand facades. As they wandered, Mia felt a gentle pull towards the vibrant art that surrounded them, each piece telling a story of its own. With every step, their connection deepened, a blend of dreams and shared moments, weaving through the air like a delicate thread. Victoria and her partner playfully argued about which sculpture garden to explore during their wedding reception. Laughter erupted as they reminisced about the time they accidentally spilled gelato, and people observed their rings sparkling in the sunlight. In those moments, the universe seemed both expansive and, as the evening deepened, they made their way back to the penthouse, where Victoria's mother sat patiently enveloped in a serene stillness. In the dimly lit hallway, an unexpected guest arrived, their presence shimmering with a hint of restrained emotion. Victoria stood there captivated, welcomed her warmly. Mia stood beside them, her heart racing with anticipation. Victoria's mother held her close for what felt like an eternity. "You've brought so much joy to my daughter," she murmured softly. "Once upon a time, there was a girl named Mia." "Thank you," Mia whispered, her voice trembling as tears threatened to spill from her eyes. "I love her," she declared with a quiet certainty, "and I will always choose her." The rest of the evening unfolded with gentle exchanges, the air filled with soothing melodies. In the dim light of the room, a tapestry of memories unfolded as the old family albums were exchanged, each page whispering tales of laughter, love, and the passage of time. On that special day, Mia felt the warmth of belonging, for the very first time, embraced by the love of those around her, as if she had finally found her place among them. As time went on, following that moment, with the soft glow of the dimmed penthouse lights wrapping around them, Victoria pressed a gentle kiss to Mia's wrist and whispered, "We did good." Today a smile graced Mia's face. "We did." As the night deepened, they drifted into slumber, wrapped in each other's warmth once more. This moment, with beyond mere hope, there lies a steadfast certainty. In the tapestry of their existence, they wove not merely a bond, but an entire world rich with affection, and in a tapestry of experiences, the threads of guiding others, embracing uncertainty, and navigating the delicate balance of ambition and openness, came together to create a rich narrative, a destiny that was finally theirs to share. The dawn that followed Victoria's mother's departure wrapped the penthouse in a stillness that felt almost palpable than usual, yet the air danced with a gentle warmth. Mia lay beside Victoria, stretching her limbs as the sun began to rise, casting a warm glow over the landscape. As the warm rays kissed her cheeks, the glimmer of their bands danced in the glow. In a moment filled with gentle giggles, they adorned themselves side by side. Once upon a time, in a land filled with wonder, there lived a remarkable figure known as Victoria. Her story unfolds in a tapestry of adventure and discovery, where each chapter reveals the essence of her character and the challenges she faced. With every step she took, the world around her transformed, echoing the strength and grace that defined her journey. As Mia carefully selected her tie, she felt a warm connection as she helped Victoria adjust her jacket, the comfort that washed over me, a breath of fresh air after endless days of cautious looks. As the sun began to rise, casting a warm glow through the kitchen window, Mia sat at the table, her thoughts drifting like the steam rising from her cup of coffee. She glanced across the table and declared, "I've planned a weekend getaway." Victoria's eyes sparkled with intrigue. "Not a chance, no whispers in the night, only we remain." Mia's pull faltered, a moment of hesitation in the flow of her actions. Once upon a time, there was a charming cottage nestled by the serene lake, just a stone's throw north of the bustling city. "We'll gather our hiking shoes and some delicious chocolate for the adventure ahead." Victoria's smile blossomed gently, radiating warmth and affection. Flawless. As dawn broke, they moved about in silence, each moment filled with purpose and anticipation. As Mia meticulously folded the clothes, each piece finding its perfect place, Victoria busily packed the binoculars, ensuring they were secure for their adventure ahead. Both were lost in their tasks, preparing for the journey that awaited them. Whispers of affection and gentle glances exchanged in secret. The apartment was filled with an eerie silence, broken only by the beeping of the leak sensors, as the cleaners slipped in, their presence barely felt. In a realm where the outside gaze was ever present, they found solace in the quiet sanctity of their shared moments. As Mia journeyed northward, her hand instinctively reached for the delicate hand of Victoria. They journeyed through trees adorned in autumn's embrace, the wind whispering against the windows. As the world outside unfolded like a tale waiting to be told, they huddled closely, enveloped in their own world. As twilight descended, the cozy cottage was enveloped in the gentle embrace of wood smoke, creating an atmosphere of warmth and serenity. They uncorked the wine and found their cozy spot by the warmth of the flames danced in the stone hearth. With a gentle touch, Victoria enveloped Mia in a cozy plaid blanket, creating a warm cocoon of comfort. "It's been quite a journey," she whispered gently, planting a tender kiss on Mia's temple. Indeed, Mia leaned in closer and shared her secret in a hushed tone. "Yet this place wraps around us like a warm embrace, as if we've returned to where we truly belong." Whispers filled the air, soft and secretive. In a world where dreams linger gently, there lies a tale of aspirations. A journey unfolds, one where the pages of a book await the touch of a pen, and the vision of a thriving enterprise beckons on the horizon. Perhaps in the chapters yet to be written, the laughter of little ones will dance through the narrative, adding warmth to the unfolding story. Victoria reminisced about a joyful day from her childhood, gliding down the snowy hills on a sled at the tender age of 8. Unadulterated bliss, surrendering to amidst the towering snowbanks. Mia's laughter rang out a melody of joy that brought tears to her eyes. They sank into the couch, their limbs sprawled out in a relaxed embrace, interwoven. "Swear to me we'll safeguard what we've built," Mia whispered, her voice quivering with emotion. With a gentle touch, Victoria caressed Mia's cheek. "With unwavering certainty, I vow to keep my word." In the vast expanse above, twinkling lights danced in the serene night sky. Above the vast expanse stretched endlessly a canvas painted in hues of blue and white, where dreams and stories intertwine. In a moment suspended in time, they clasped each other's hands, enveloped in a profound stillness as the universe seemed to expand around them. Underneath their souls and within their souls. In the cozy bedroom later, Mia gently traced the delicate curve of Victoria's collarbone as they lay together, wrapped in the warmth of cozy fabric. "I'm so happy we found one another," Mia whispered softly. Victoria pressed her lips softly, a tender whisper, escaping into the air. "Me too." And as they surrendered to the embrace of slumber in a realm untouched by the clamor of the world, they found their promise in the quiet moments, no need for vows or rings to bind their hearts. In a world where everything else faded away, they found solace in one another, a bond rekindled once more. With each breath, with every gentle touch, and every vow exchanged, a story unfolds. Their affection had transformed into their place of refuge and safety, where one can find peace and solace amidst the chaos of the world. As they strolled back to the city, fingers intertwined, a sense of calm enveloped them under the soft, dwindling light that danced through the maple-lined streets, the cottage fading into the background. Hidden away, a cherished recollection they held close within their souls. Back in the penthouse, Mia drew back the curtains to reveal. As the soft morning light welcomed the day, Victoria busied herself in the kitchen, brewing coffee. The rich aroma floated through the air, weaving its way between the quiet corners of the room, them with a soft assurance. Their smiles had transformed now, softer and more profound, marked by trust, is a treasure quietly gained through actions and integrity never paraded for all to see. At the breakfast table, they sat, two rings shimmering in the morning light. Two mugs sat side by side, their steam rising in perfect harmony. Mia extended her hand and gently caressed a morsel slipped from Victoria's lip. "Back to reality tomorrow," she whispered, her voice tinged with a hint of wistfulness. With a steady resolve and a powerful presence, Victoria nodded, her fingers gently circling Mia's hand. "But we go," she affirmed, into it stronger than ever. The day unfolded with intention. As the morning light in the gentle glow of the afternoon sun, they gathered with the event planner to weave together the final threads of their wedding tapestry. A delicate arch nestled in Central Park, adorned with soft petals, created a scene of serene beauty. In a cozy corner, a friend strums their guitar, the soft notes floating in the air. There's no spotlight, no audience clamoring for attention, just the intimate connection between them and the few lucky souls nearby. The atmosphere is filled with warmth and love as each chord resonates with the hearts of those who listen. As the spotlight shone brightly, Mia caught sight of Victoria's radiant smile, and a warm feeling blossomed within her heart. Perfect. Victoria breathed, her excitement palpable. At noon, they found themselves immersed in a leadership workshop. Victoria had gathered her executive team for an important session, ready to share insights on the essence of being genuine in the workplace. As she stood before her colleagues, there, standing resolutely by her side, was Mia. Their hands brushed against each other twice, each touch deliberate and bold, as Victoria shared her thoughts on bravery bonds and the power of decisions. Mia listened intently, glowing and genuine, the space filled with a soft reverence. Their connection intricately intertwined, each word carried a weight of significance. Later, they gathered with friends for a quiet lunch at a cozy corner cafe where laughter intertwined with a sense of comfort. Nothing hidden here. In the cozy space between them, they indulged in sweet pastries, brewed warm coffee for one another, and exchanged words that revealed their connection with gentle sincerity. It was a moment that wrapped around them like a warm embrace. A waitress glided by, her voice a soft murmur. "You two are adorable together." Instantly, they felt the heat rise to their cheeks, yet they wore their blush with pride. Untethered, the afternoon enveloped them as they returned to Victoria's study, where they wove together the threads of company strategy and the tapestry of life strategy. They crafted their promises side by side, simple yet profound, filled with genuine emotion. "I vow to always choose you. Above all else," Mia penned with determination. "I vow to protect our love with courage," Victoria declared, her heart full of promise. They took a moment, absorbing the essence of each other's thoughts, tears glistening softly, yet filled with strength. The evening unfolded around them, arrived bringing with it an intimate rehearsal. They strolled through Central Park, illuminated by lantern light and enveloped in the quiet of the city. Sharing in hushed tones, they exchanged vows, their voices quivering with raw emotion as they made promises meant only for each other. Hearts were alive with emotion, intertwining in a way that felt more profound than ever before. As the night unfolded, they found solace in each other's presence, lying together in the warmth of their shared connection. Entwined, the world outside, bustling with life, their future blossoming before them. Victoria gently brushed her fingers against Mia's face. "I've never been more myself than with you," she whispered, her voice soft and sincere. Mia pressed her lips gently to Victoria's palm, a tender gesture filled with unspoken emotions. "And I've never been more alive." With their eyes closed, they felt the anticipation building, fully aware that they were prepared. Prepared for the festivities that awaited them at dawn, prepared to embark on a journey shaped by affection, bravery, and the commitment to select one another time and again. The soft glow of the morning light, a gentle reminder of the love that surrounded them. As they stirred, the world outside seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the magic of the day to unfold. Victoria and Mia, wrapped in each other's warmth, felt the excitement and anticipation building, knowing that this was the beginning of their forever. Soft rays of sunlight danced through the windows overlooking the park, as hearts pulsed in a tender harmony, creating a moment where time seemed to stand still. It paused in anticipation. Their wedding day was simple, devoid of opulence. No extravagant ballroom awaited them, nor were there any society photographers to capture the moment. In a serene meadow beneath an arch adorned with delicate white blossoms, a couple exchanged vows in a heartfelt ceremony, enveloped by the warmth of their nearest and dearest, garments that carried the weight of their promises. The air was filled with the gentle rustle of leaves, as if nature itself was a witness to their love. Each glance exchanged held a universe of unspoken words, binding their hearts in a tapestry of shared dreams. Garments. Mia wore a flowing ivory lace dress that enveloped her like a whisper of hope. Victoria donned a tailored cream silk ensemble that reflected the blossoms overhead. Their bands captured the dawn's light as they assisted one another with the finishing details. Mia gently tucked a strand of hair behind Victoria's ear, a tender gesture that spoke volumes. Victoria, with a soft smile, adjusted Mia's bouquet of wildflowers, ensuring every bloom was perfectly placed. Together they stepped forward, their hearts intertwined in the moment. As they stepped into the park, a tapestry of laughter and joy unfolded. Loved ones, family, and friends alike came together, their shared moments creating a comforting glow that illuminated Victoria's path. The mother stood to one side, tears glistening in her eyes. Mia's beloved roommate and two close colleagues shared a moment of respectful joy, their heads bowed in unison. The city beyond them hummed softly with skyscrapers, standing tall, framing the scene. The lush green canopy seemed to bless this act of love. They stood beneath the arch. With the gentle caress of soft grass beneath them, their heartbeats echoed loudly in their chests. Victoria's voice quivered as she spoke, slightly as she began. Mia, you came into my life in the most surprising manner. In a whirlwind of unpredictability where every stumble turned into a masterpiece, you brought to light the beauty hidden within the chaos. Mia gazed back, her eyes reflecting the truth that vulnerability is a form of strength, and that love, despite its risks, is a treasure worth pursuing, shimmering and grasped Victoria's hand. Victoria, from the instant I placed that ring on your finger, I sensed there was something fated to be in this moment. You showed me that visibility is not a flaw, but a reflection of authenticity, and they smiled through tears as they exchanged their heartfelt promises, choosing honesty to guide them forever. In the quiet moments of countless shared nights and the bravery of our conversations, I find my heart's promise. I choose you, Victoria, whispered. Forever and always, I select you. Mia resonated. Each day, every obstacle, with each dawn, they bound their vows with a gentle kiss, tender and unwavering, filled with petals swirling around them like a gentle snowfall. Later, they strolled down a path adorned with petals, enveloped in a warm embrace of the room filled with cheers, joy, and warm wishes. No formal addresses were made. There were no grand speeches. Only the soft sound of champagne flutes meeting in a delicate toast, accompanied by heartfelt smiles and gestures of encouragement. The guests moved about, sharing moments and laughter. Mia and Victoria flowed together, a shimmering duo, unshielded and full of light. The afternoon was roamed through the park fingers, intertwined, sharing glances that conveyed unspoken tales, pausing to share a first dance on the grass. Laughter ringing out like music, and gentle tears glistening beneath the trees. They savored small bites of the sweet treat from the neighborhood bakery was passed between them, each bite accompanied by playful glances and soft laughter. As darkness enveloped the world outside, they moved with a gentle hush, gathering their things, and returned to the penthouse where their true life unfolded, sheltered from the noise of announcements and the gaze of cameras in the warm embrace of their sanctuary, the flickering candlelight danced around them as they uncorked a bottle of wine. With gentle gestures, they connected their fingers, brushing softly against one another. With the wisdom gathered over the years, not just the moments past, they shared whispers under the stars, dreaming of a future together, contemplating the vows they would take. They would embark on a journey, crafting a bond rooted in affection, admiration, and common dreams. At last they slipped between the fabric, united as companions, as beloveds, as equals. Hands entwined, murmurs. Gentle heart. With a gentle touch, Victoria leaned down and placed a soft kiss on Mia's forehead, a gesture filled with warmth and gratitude. Thank you. She whispered, the words hanging in the air like a promise. She whispered, thank you for teaching me what truly matters. Mia wrapped her arms around her. Thank you for choosing love. In the serene stillness that followed on the eve of their union, they found solace in slumber, two hearts entwined in promises that were both tender and steadfast. The dawn would unveil. In a world filled with meetings and milestones, tonight was different. It was a moment suspended in time, where two women embraced the promise of forever having discovered each other in a way that felt destined. Amidst the turmoil, they battled for recognition, and now they stood boldly united as one, prepared to create a journey where affection and strength, openness and drive could intertwine, live in harmony with courage and grace. If this resonates with you and you wish to show your love for the channel in a unique way by clicking the special button below, you'll recognize it by its heart and dollar symbol. A special sign appears inviting you to show your appreciation. With a heartfelt gesture, you can directly support the channel, ensuring that the journey of creation continues on its vibrant path. Incredible tales await you.